our studio in Newport Beach, California. Welcome to another edition of the Chab Dog Sports Talk Radio Show. Sometimes scattered, but always edgy. We're an authentic take on sports talk. Rated R. Chab Dog brings you Eric, the well-read, Frank, the tank, Brian from Sports Rock, and special guests. We're here to talk sports. We're here to rant and vent. We're here to take it up another notch. Now here's your host, Chab Dog.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another edition of Chab Dog Sports Talk. We're on each Sunday from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Brought to you by Chabner Law, serving Southern California's transactional legal needs and also doing estate planning. And by Chab Dog Sports Blog for your head of your sports headlines and biting sports commentary. All right, this is the last show of August 30th. I'm here in the Newport Beach studios with my co-host, Eric, the well-read Sauve. How are you doing, Eric?
Hey, Chab Dog. Fantastic.
Yes, and we're ready for a great show today. We got this is the 007 Lives Forever show, and we got some James Bond clips.
Yeah, from Diamonds Are Forever, from
yes,
Sean Connery's last film as playing the part of James Bond.
Was his last film?
Last official film with the production crew. He did do one more called Never Say Never Again in 1984, but that doesn't count as an official Bond film.
Oh, right.
Not in my books, anyway.
Yeah,
because it wasn't directed by.
He did. In this one, in that movie,
produced by Broccoli. I mean,
he looked a little older, but he still carried it off well.
Hey, he was younger than us.
That's right. That's right.
He could carry those two.
Calling anybody old.
he got plenty.
He did. He ended up getting plenty. And we got some great guests coming on. We've got we'll have Frank later, but
right here.
Frank Fleming from Sports Encyclopedia is on, and we've got Drew, or is it Stewart? So I think
it's Drew. How you guys doing? Hi,
hey,
Eric.
Drew.
How you doing, Chab Dog?
It's been a long time since we had Drew Owens on, but we got some things to talk.
Honor to have Drew Owens.
Yes.
Drew Owens back.
We got some things to talk about with you on the round ball side, among other things, maybe some football and or baseball, and so we can get right into it. Drew, did you see any of the games last night? As the NBA resumed play?
Oh yeah, it actually went as planned.
Yes, with your Bucks winning. Yes, I'm sure that was in your plans to see them advance. And that game was actually got close at the end, didn't it?
We're having trouble.
Is he there?
I think we lost.
Did we lose him?
We lost him.
What about Frank? Frank, are you on?
No, we lost Frank too.
We lost everybody. Well, let's see if we can get him back.
Yes.
I'm really not sure what happened there.
That's you.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah, it wouldn't. I can't even see which number he was calling from.
Well, Drew was calling from 213.
Yeah.
Okay, you're back on, Drew.
You're back. Sorry, Drew.
Sorry,
trouble with our Skype.
I don't know.
I'm back here.
Yeah.
I'm back here. I guess somebody blocked me at the rim, huh?
I don't know. Yeah, but no, I was just saying I didn't see the Bucks Magic game, but I saw in the highlights that the Bucks had a big lead, and then the Magic came back and cut it to 3. I think in the last 2 or 3 minutes, didn't they?
It disconnected us again.
Did we get disconnected again?
Fuckers.
I don't understand this. We are having some technical difficulties here, and Red's going to try to fix this.
Frank here.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 5.
So Frank's not available.
All right, well, we're going to try one more time here.
So where's Drew? Why does Drew not show up on our...
He's not showing up on our dashboard?
No. Oh,
the Antetokounmpo wall set up for me?
Okay, I promise I won't touch a button here.
You guys have the Antetokounmpo wall set up for me, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what we have here, but it's
Well, when I
bizarre.
was going to add a call, I got to apologize, Drew. I'm trying to add a call, and whenever I added the call, it cut both calls off, so I'm not going to bother adding a call here. We want to talk to you. So back to the Bucks here. Chab Dog.
Yeah.
Sports.
So
Well, the Bucks. If you look at how the series started, Orlando scored 122 points, and the Bucks actually have the top-ranked defensive rating in the NBA, and they've had that for the past 2 years. And then if you look at the games 2, 3, and 4, and 5, they've shut them down. In fact, they've had the best defense out of all the playoffs. That's how they're going to win it. Not with offense, with defense. And if you see how active they are, they're very active, and so that's what was worrying me in the first game, that they didn't look like they really cared. Same as the Lakers, looked like they came in real flat. But game 2, 3, 4, and 5, they look very active defensively, and that's what's going to win it for them. They had some people on the trolling Chris Middleton about scoring only 2 points in game 3, and nor was game 2. But he played great defense. That's the key right there, because his offense is going to come. So am I worried about the Bucks? Nah. Do I think that they will have an easier time against Miami than people think? Because you look at Miami, they've been actually very inconsistent through the year. They have great 3-point shooting, but they're not a consistent team. That's why they're the fifth seed. They're not consistent. So the most consistent teams are Toronto, Boston, and Milwaukee. So I don't really see Miami as much of a threat as a lot of people do.
Do you think that'll be like probably 5 games or something?
It could go 6 if Miami's hot. They have to be hot because there's nobody that's really good. They don't have really any inside presence because
they don't.
Bam Adebayo is decent inside, but he's more of a defensive threat than offense, and he's actually going to be so occupied with Giannis that I think it's going to take away from his offensive game. Now, if the outside shooting is hot, that's going to make it a series. But again, how often is the 3-point shooting hot? Not that often. I mean, if you're going to shoot 40 to 50%, then that's great. But usually, if you're hot, you're shooting 38%, at best 40%, and that's still not going to be Milwaukee because they dominate inside. And if you look at the stats right now, in game 1, they were outscored in the paint. That very rarely happens. And usually through the whole season, they dominate inside. So I think the real test would come in the conference finals. That would be between Boston and Toronto, which I actually favor Boston because, believe it or not, Toronto I think is still playing. I still think they're Cinderella, and I think it's going to be midnight shortly. Because when you look at it, they really do not have a to-go player. It's not what they call him, Siakam.
Siakam.
Siakam, yeah. And they have a nickname for him or something. I forget what it was, though. But Saucy P or something like that. But, again, I see them as a good team, not a great team. And Boston, I think, will beat them in about 6 games, I believe. Although I think it'll be a good series, but I think the Western Conference is going to be a better series. I don't really see the Eastern Conference being a great series right now.
Even the conference finals, you think the Milwaukee Bucks are just head and shoulders above everybody else?
The way think about this, and you have to if you from what you've seen Milwaukee the past 2 seasons. Exclude that one series, exclude those last 4 games against Toronto. Who's been the best team in basketball the past 2 years? Milwaukee, hands down. No team has been. They can't touch them. Now, they had 4 bad games, and, of course, that was enough to take them out of the series. But they dominated Toronto those first 2 games. In fact, everybody was conceding the series to Milwaukee until they formulated that wall, which is a great strategy. And, of course, Milwaukee didn't adjust well, and that hurt them. And I think now they know, since everybody has this idea now the wall will stop them. That's the only thing that anybody has a chance. But I think Milwaukee has learned how to beat the wall. And Toronto had the key last year, and no one has had the key this year to beat them. So, and then when you look at the last before the pandemic, Giannis got hurt, so he didn't play the last 2 games. So they lost those last 2 games. They were beating the Lakers in the first half, and he did get hurt, and they didn't even play a great game. But he was hurt before. I mean, it was still a close game, so that game could have gone either way. So the pandemic probably helped Milwaukee because he was able to heal up. So I really don't see, unless Milwaukee goes cold, I don't really see him not winning the East. But I think the toughest challenge is going to come from Boston.
And if the Milwaukee Bucks don't win the whole thing this year, are you going to be pretty disappointed?
I was actually hurt more last year because they were so dominant. They were 10-1 before they came into the series with Toronto. Then they won the first 2 games, which made them 12-1. I mean, that's ridiculous. And no, they were 8-1. They were 8-1 coming into the Eastern Conference Finals. Then they won the first 2, making them 10-1, and then they wound up losing the last 4. Which that was questioned because everything was falling in line. Because if you see the way Toronto won it, they played a depleted Golden State team. And, I mean, if Golden State had been healthy, I don't know if they'd have won, but I think Milwaukee would have beat a healthy Golden State team. And Easy would have probably swept an injured Golden State team. And then if you look at this year, there was nobody close to Milwaukee this year. Nobody. When the Lakers played Milwaukee, what happened to the Lakers? They got routed earlier in the year. Okay, now the Lakers played a tough game and won in Los Angeles, but Milwaukee won both games against the Clippers easily. One without Kawhi and one with Kawhi, but both had Paul George in it, and they dominated both games. I mean, it wasn't even close in either game. So you're looking at a team that actually is on a mission. But the one thing I can't really understand is when everybody would say Milwaukee doesn't win big games. They've only been in one big game in the past 2 years, so they're getting better every year. So this is something that actually bodes well for them. People forget that. Does everybody remember in 2000? I believe it was 12. The San Antonio Spurs were up 2-0 in the Western Conference Finals against Oklahoma City. With Kawhi Leonard on the team, they lost. Same way Milwaukee did, 4 straight games. But they never bring that back up again. You see what I'm saying? So the next year they went to the finals and they lost to Miami. And then the next year after that they won the whole thing. So championships are progression. So and I think that's what Milwaukee's doing. And if you look at, they're the only team returning everybody from last year. Everybody else is trying to mesh.
Right.
And I would probably say Boston has everybody back, but they've lost big pieces, which would be Kyrie. Yeah. But they're actually better without Kyrie. So I think Boston gives them more of a formidable chance than even the Lakers or than the Clippers. I really believe.
I don't know. I thought the Lakers matched up well against the Bucks because they're so big. They have the size to kind of to hold their own inside against the Bucks, which most teams don't have. I
think the problem with the Lakers, they don't have any shooting.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's spotty.
I know Danny Green like the back of my hand because my other team is the Spurs, and Danny Green can't shoot. He's either feast or famine. And one thing he can't do, he can't lay up. If he has to take the ball to the hole, watch, he will always mess up. He did that with San Antonio. So Danny Green is not. That's why you look at how many teams were going after Danny Green. Only the Lakers. Nobody really wanted Danny Green because Danny Green is he's experienced, and that's about it. I don't really see him as a factor. And it was what is it? Was it KCP or whatever? He's the one that was shooting the lights out the past couple of games, not Danny Green. So
Pope.
Pope. Yeah, Caldwell Pope. Yeah.
Yeah.
So KCP. So if LeBron isn't shooting well, or KCP isn't shooting well, they have no shooting. You can't depend on Kuzma. You don't. And if Anthony Davis is going to shoot outside, he really takes all his advantage away.
I know, but he last night he made his shots. Did you see last night's game?
Well, he was hot last night.
Yeah.
He was hot also in game 2 as well.
He made some threes.
He's also been very inconsistent. And for a man to have his skills and inside skills, he's very disappointing to me because he's not consistent. He should be just like Giannis, taking the ball in all the time. But he doesn't do it. He'll take it outside. Why would you do that?
He doesn't really have a good post game, does he? I mean, he dunks a lot, but he's kind of like Dwight Howard, doesn't have a lot of these great post moves. Nobody does though, but he really you wonder like why can't that guy just camp out down low and he doesn't have to take threes.
That's the reason Shaq is so big on Giannis, because of his footwork. Giannis has great footwork. He knows how to step inside. And you look at Anthony Davis, he doesn't have that footwork. He can shoot the ball outside, but he also doesn't have the handles as a Giannis. That's why he's a great number 2 guy. He'll never be a number 1 guy. He's a number 2 guy. Giannis is a number 1 guy, and that's one reason that Giannis would never come to the Lakers. He would never go to the Clippers because he needs the ball in his hand. He's an alpha. AD is one alpha. LeBron is the alpha. Kawhi is the alpha. And those 3 guys right there have to lead a team. They cannot be the second fiddle. Paul George could be a second fiddle. AD is a second fiddle. Those guys fit right in there, and that's why all these teams trying to get Giannis. Giannis is not going anywhere. And I believe the pandemic, and actually what happened with the just a few days ago, that actually sealed him staying in Milwaukee, because I think the relationship is sealed right now. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Even if they were to lose in this round, I don't think he's going anywhere, because I think he has now. It's kind of like a relationship now with the city. So all these people are trying to say, well, we can recruit him over here. The only way I believe that they would get him is if somebody offered a wild, crazy trade if they don't win the championship, and I can't see that happening. So I mean, but again, nothing's certain. I mean, of course, anybody can win it. There's no guarantee they're going to win it. But again, if I had to favor the teams, I would pick Milwaukee first, the Clippers second, just because I think Milwaukee's going to beat Boston. And then I would say Boston and LA, because I really do not believe in LA. LA does not have a lot of talent. AD and LeBron, that's it. They have no talent. You're gonna trust Dwight Howard? You're gonna trust Kuzma, Danny Green? I don't think so.
Yeah, you hardly name the guards.
They have no guards. They have no guards.
That's what It's
and
just
then the guards. And Avery Bradley was actually pretty decent. That hurts him. The loss of Avery Bradley really hurt. That hurt a lot.
Yeah. So, I think. I mean, I just have a feeling
it's going to be.
I'm not convinced the Lakers are going to be in the finals, but I think they're going to beat Houston.
That's the series that's going to be interesting, because Houston, literally, now that's a team, if to get hot 3 points, you can't beat them.
Yeah, but they have to stay hot like that.
If they get hot, no one's going to beat them. They're that good 3-point shooters. But the problem with them, they're not like a Golden State, because they don't pass the ball like Golden State. They just rely on 3-point shots. Golden State can pass the ball and shoot the 3. So there's a big difference there. But Houston can get hot enough in the series to beat you. So there is a chance that Houston can upset the Lakers if they're shooting well, not great, but shooting well, and AD doesn't come all games, because he tends to disappear sometimes, totally disappear. I'm talking about 10 points, 2 points, 5 points, to where you wonder, a guy that talented, why would you disappear like that? There's no need for it. Have you ever seen LeBron really disappear? No. You never see Giannis disappear.
I've kind of seen him give up a few times.
It doesn't happen, Kawhi doesn't disappear. They're in there somewhere, but AD will actually disappear. You don't even see him in there. He's in the game, but you don't see him. So
well, that could be fatal. That definitely could be fatal.
Yeah.
And Houston has been. That team's been kind of together for a long time too. I mean, you could argue this might be their turn because there's no Golden State to give them problems. Harden's just 1 year older, but 1 year better, and but I just wish they had more size. I don't even know who plays center for them.
Well, no. Tucker plays the center. I mean, he's actually the biggest guy out there.
Tucker.
They really don't have a center. Everybody stays around the 3-point line, and then they rely on Westbrook and Harden to drive to the basket.
Yeah.
And it's a spread game now. And see, right now, the way everything is spread out, that's what gives the Milwaukee the advantage. Because if Giannis is playing and you spread out, there's nobody can stop him. So when you pack it in, and if Milwaukee just shoots anywhere from 30% from the 3-point line, you can't beat them. They have to shoot horribly, like they did against Toronto. They shot bad against Toronto. That's why Toronto was able to beat them. And if you look at that series still, all the games were still close. They weren't blown out. They were still close, even though Milwaukee played horrible, and they still lost 4 straight. Now, if they'd have played anywhere decent, they win that series easily. That's what disappointed me so much, because they played so bad, and by playing that way, they gave away each game in the fourth quarter. They gave it away. So I mean, but I give it to Toronto. They had a great game plan. And right now, I just don't see any of the players on their team that can take over a game. Not Lowry, not Van Vliet, Siakam. I don't see it.
Not really.
Now Boston can. They do have what's his name? The forward.
What? Jaylen Brown?
No. Their best player. Why can't I think of it?
Well, there's Jaylen Brown, Jaden
Tatum.
Tatum
can actually perform. Okay. Now he's somewhat inconsistent, but when he's on,
Jason Tatum.
He's on. Yeah. When he's on, he's almost a superstar. But the problem with him sometimes is like beginning of the bubble. He disappeared. But for the past 5 or 6 games, he's actually been pretty consistent. So that's what gives him a chance. The problem with Boston is they're not deep. They don't really have a bench. I mean, they may use people, but their bench is nobody.
It's not like the Clippers bench.
Yeah.
It's not even like Milwaukee's.
And if you look at benches, there are 2 deep teams in basketball: the Clippers and the Bucks. The Bucks use their bench. You look at every game, and everybody is utilized, and everybody has a role. And since they've been playing that way for the 2 years, they know their roles. Okay. I mean, and that's what makes championship teams. Just like the Golden State Warriors. That's why you have certain players like Izzy. He comes in, Iggy. He'll come in there just for a few minutes. The Bucks have the same thing. Okay.
The Spurs did that too. Yeah. I mean, the Spurs went like 8 or 9 deep, didn't they? Yeah.
And that's what you need, especially. And there was something done yesterday. Chab Dog, you mentioned that the Bucks they had a 21-point lead, and Orlando came within 3 at 96-93. And was I worried? No. But what Budenholzer did, he didn't. Even though Giannis had 5 fouls, he could have put him in there. He didn't. He wanted to see what the team was going to do, and they opened it back up without him.
Yeah.
He wanted to test the team.
That was a statement.
And I would love the way that happened. And they opened it back up without him, and I think that helped them. You know, because they put him back in there. Then you say they're kind of weak at certain points, but no, that actually tested them a little bit. Because Orlando actually played a little bit over their head, especially what's his name, Vucevic. Vucevic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player, very good player, and even DJ Augustine, he played well. So they had players that played well. They were injured, but usually teams who are injured aren't good either. You know, I mean, that injuries and not being good go hand in hand sometimes, you know. So, I mean, look at Portland. They were injured. Look at Dallas. They're injured. All these teams that are losing are injured. There's a reason why they're losing, you know. Look at every team that's lost is injured. Dallas, Portland, Orlando. The teams that are winning are actually kind of healthy. So there's a reason for those type of things right there. But I really believe people, when somebody says, like you mentioned this earlier this week, that you think Miami can beat Milwaukee. Well, if that can beat Milwaukee, then shouldn't they be able to win the championship? I would think so. And then they say, well, Miami beat Milwaukee. Well, they blew them out at home one time. Milwaukee lost game 1 to Miami. They blew a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter. Okay, in the fourth quarter. I mean, they just totally blew that game. But in the bowl, they came back from 23. Now, even if you wipe out the regular season, Miami has never done well against Milwaukee, even the year before that. So, but if you want to include regular season, why wouldn't Toronto, if they played the Lakers, win? Because Toronto they will have 11-game winning streak against the Lakers. You see what I'm saying? And if you look at matching up with the Lakers, will Toronto do well against the Lakers in the playoffs in the 7-game series? I don't think so. I don't believe they would, because even though I think that they're tougher physically, they have nobody to match against AD and LeBron. Nobody. So it is about matchups.
Yeah.
But Toronto doesn't match up well against Boston. I don't believe. I really don't. Even though Boston's not as deep, I don't think they have anybody to match up with Tatum and Brown and the guard play of Boston. I really don't think so.
Mm-hmm. I like hearing
that's
that.
That's why I think Boston will have an easier time than we think. And I don't think it's going 7 games. I think it's going to go at the most 6.
Well, we got some clips for you here. You like 007, right?
Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah.
1971. Here's a scene.
We got some deleted scenes from Diamonds Are Forever. I don't know.
Okay, come on,
listen
ladies.
to this.
Let's bet it up. Get some money and be somebody. $1,000 on the black.
Right on.
All right, come on, let's go. Put it down, baby. There you go. Over here, and give me 1,000 on the black.
Candyman.
Hiya, sweetheart.
Hey,
He looks
Bert, how are you,
great,
baby?
Good. Say, I had a call from Mr. White. Said you hadn't signed your contract yet. What's the matter? You got a problem?
No, not too big a problem. Just some money, that's all. Now, you know what amazes me? That a man that's a multi-billionaire living up in that fortress can't come to terms. Now, look, you're the man that I work for, really. Do me a favor, go up and talk to him for me, will you?
You gotta be kidding. I run this place for him, and even I haven't seen him for 3 years. Will you take a look at that?
Well, wow. They ain't never gonna get a cake big enough to put him on top of.
Yeah, they just saw Sean Connery walk in wearing this white tux.
What happened to the chips? I lost.
That was a great scene.
Mm-hmm. Sammy Davis.
Jay?
We got another one here? You want to just skip it?
Yeah, I'll skip this one because he's just killing
This is
Shady Tree.
Mr. Win and Mr.
Oh, here's
Kid.
a good one.
Oh.
You like the woman playing the harp in the pond, floating around?
Oh, there's plenty. Remember Plenty?
Hey, I didn't think you could really do that. I bet they charge you for it.
I was under the impression you were paying.
Well, it was still a very classy thing to do. Hey, listen, you're not a knight or anything like that, are you?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm a mere commoner.
But don't feel bad. It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm a Democrat. Hi, Myrna.
You like that, Stuart?
Some semi-naked
Peter,
woman
you had
floating
enough of
around
this?
the pond there.
Aren't you enjoying yourself?
Oh, well, sure, but what I mean is, well, you've been so great and everything. I just wanted to thank you properly, you know. Well, maybe I could walk you to your door at least?
Insist.
Oh, so this is how she ends up in his room.
I don't know. That was a deleted scene.
Yeah, that wasn't in the movie. All right.
There was a scene where where she gets thrown out of the hotel room. You remember that, right? That's not here though.
It's not in the clips though, but yeah, that was it.
It was a different clip I sent you, I think.
We have it? Okay.
Yeah. Keep going. Yeah, that was. I think it was this one.
Yeah.
This is good.
Well, that's it, pussycat. Shot the whole wad. What do you say? Back to my place?
You're a nice person, Maxie. Really, you are. Why don't you go and take a nap, and I'll see you next year.
Oh, no.
Take a nap.
$2,000 limit.
Shot his wad.
She sees James Bond winning at the craps
She hears
table.
the money.
Exactly. Give him a $10,000 credit with a $2,000 limit.
Yeah, 10,000 credit with a 2,000 limit. That's
Peter Franks.
He's got a slumber.
Yeah.
Mr. Frank's credit's good.
Yep.
Good luck to you, Mr. Franks.
Thank you. I'll have 2 stacks now.
2 stacks.
Look at the sideburns.
$4,000.
Look at the sideburns on these guys.
Thank
I
you.
know. I can't imagine that was in
Plenty.
style.
But of course you are.
Plenty O'Toole.
I'm Plenty.
Irish.
Named after your father, perhaps?
Would you like some help? On the craps, I mean.
It's very kind of you.
He dressed like great.
Come here. Come here.
Those are natural, too.
Hey, ladies are lucky.
Didn't have silicone back then.
Well, it's early 70s. Look at that. Oh, my God.
That's
She's
a full-
leaning
that's a
over, she's
natural
leaning over the table. Look
Oh,
at
yeah.
that.
You can see the cleavage.
Good shooter. Your shot, Mr. F.
All right. Threw a 7, threw an 11, so she lost.
Now what's happening?
He's phoning in Peter Franks.
Tree's dead.
Willard
Tree
White.
did.
Turn on number 2.
Oh, he's going to see the
Peter Franks.
Peter Franks.
White's 10, heart's 10. Here's the number.
I'll take the full odds on the 10, 200 on the hard way. The limit on all the numbers, 250 on the 11. Thank you very much.
There's how to
Say,
play.
you played this game before.
Just once.
Now what do we do? Don't bother me with details, Bert. Just get me the diamonds.
Bert Saxby. Yeah, 10,000. It's like
You handle those
$45,000.
cubes like a monkey handles coconuts.
Thank you, gentlemen, for such sterling service.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, that's $50,000.
Minus 5,000 for you leaves me 45,000, and thank you very much.
That's a year's wage back
Nothing,
then.
really.
God.
You know something, Peter Franks? You're a terrific guy. A little weird, but a terrific guy. Say, why don't we go someplace and have a drink?
A drink? Well, if you'd like to come in, plenty.
Oh, how pretty. What a super place you have.
It's a nice suite. You know, he's unzipping the back of her dress.
Comes off very
Now the dress
easily.
falls to the floor.
Just give me 1 second, lover.
Lover. Just give me 1 second, lover. I need to go wash my birdie. Yeah,
I would have smelled the dress.
She's about to get tossed. Oh, uh-oh. There's a guy with a gun in his room. In the shadows. No, not anymore. It's very Italian.
Seen
though.
that guy before.
With more than my hands up.
Hey, what the hell is this? A pervert convention or something? Hey, listen, you can't do this to me. Stop that. I've got friends.
Yeah, here's where she goes. Here comes the killer line.
Exceptionally fine shot.
I didn't know there was a pool down there.
Okay. I didn't know there was a pool down there. I just love
I
that.
didn't know there was a pool down there. All right, we're back.
Movie. We're back.
So we have this is a 007 show. So I have.
You got a
few-
favorite movie, Drew?
Yeah.
What was that?
You have a favorite 007 movie?
I would probably say, what was the one? One we used to laugh at the name of. What was it? Something pussy.
Octopussy?
Yeah, that was the
Octopussy.
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 Yeah, that was pretty good. That was Roger Moore.
That was one of his last.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked the woman that
And
played.
see, I liked a lot of the songs they had in the movies as well. You know, they had good songs, good music in the 007 movies.
Yeah.
Shirley Bassey sang "Diamonds Are Forever," the title song.
Yes, that's a great song.
Yeah.
Too bad we don't have that one, but
Well, we do, but,
oh, we do. It was
The soundtracks were great. Great soundtracks.
Oh, is this it?
Yeah, there she is.
Did she do another soundtrack for another one of his movies?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so.
Yeah. That's all we have of it, but that's all we need.
Yeah. I liked I liked Diamonds Are Forever a lot, and I also liked Live and Let. Was it Live and Let Live?
Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die.
Oh, Live and Let Die.
That's Paul McCartney.
A lot of Paul McCartney and Wings in that one.
Yeah. Grace Jones, Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Grace Jones, yeah.
See, Shirley Bassey sang in my favorite James Bond movie, Goldfinger. She sung the title track to there too.
That I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was one of the best ones. Yeah,
it was the third one made.
The guy with the hat,
Yeah,
the Japanese guy,
Oddlot, I think was his name. He was Korean actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Although the scientists they brought in were Chinese, by the way, so they had a Chinese angle back then. The Chinese built the dirty bomb for Goldfinger.
So, is your mind just firmly on basketball, not on football now?
Well, I'm still wondering how they're going to play football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the bubble has worked great in basketball. You figured that they would have started doing things like that in football. I can't see them finishing it because isn't football supposed to start in a couple of weeks?
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah, so I don't see how they're going to do that.
And they're not going to have a bubble, right?
Well, I suppose they're going to do it just like baseball does it, but I mean,
but baseball but look at football has more people, and I just see
and
problems happening.
there's more touching, right? I mean, football is just more contact.
Yeah.
So, and imagine how fast that thing spreads through a football locker room.
Well, normal flus do.
I can't see it. I really can't see it. I hope they do because I do want to see football, and I want to see if Kansas City is going to be this dominant team because everybody's calling them a dynasty right now. I can't argue with them, but I'm also curious about Tampa Bay.
To see what happens with Tom Brady and how that works out.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you live in LA, but you're a Patriots fan, which is a bit of a conundrum.
I'm still Patriots and Vikings. I never change.
Okay,
but I will jump on the Tom Brady bandwagon.
Okay, so you're a Tom Brady fan. Too.
I'm bandwagon. Yeah, I'm bandwagon on that one.
Well, what's
just like I did Michael Jordan bandwagon. I was not a Bulls fan, but I jumped on the Michael Jordan.
No, you're not one of them closet vegans, are you?
Huh?
You're not one of them closet vegans, are you, like Brady?
Well,
but the good thing about jumping on the bandwagon, you can jump off of it real quick too.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I know because there's predictions all over the map in terms of what the Buccaneers with Brady and Gronk are going to do. Some say they'll make the playoffs. Some say they won't even get close, and it's hard to tell what's accurate.
Depends if they're healthy, because I think if Gronk and Brady are healthy, they can win the Super Bowl. But again, I think they could be fragile too. Because Gronk has had years where you blow on him and he breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So
the rest of that team was relatively talented. The coach is great.
Yeah. And then what's Cam Newton going to do? That's going to be a big question. If he plays anything close to what he did at Carolina, they still got the best coach in football.
Yes.
So, that could be interesting. So I really can't tell you who's going to win it. Kansas City's favorite, but who's going to win it in the NFC? That's wide open. NFC is wide open. I mean, super wide open. I mean, I can't even tell you who I could favor right now. I mean, the Rams got talent, but they choke. San Francisco, they're kind of an enigma.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints are old. Dallas, they have talent, but they're Dallas. And Green Bay is. I still say that Aaron Rodgers is the most overrated quarterback I've ever seen in my life. I mean, because he has all this talent, but he doesn't win anything. I mean, how can you to be good? You got to win. Mm-hmm. I mean, Terry Bradshaw didn't have talent, but he's great because he won.
Oh, don't say that, please! Don't say that. You hurt me when you say that. Maybe Terry Bradshaw couldn't spell, but
I want to hear that.
He didn't have talent. He was just tough, man. He could sit in that pocket like Ben Roethlisberger and get hit, but he could throw that ball down the field.
He threw some passes that were pretty decent sometimes when they counted. See, he threw passes good when they counted. He was a big play guy.
Oh,
he was a big play quarterback. So and I'm a Viking fan. And was Fran Tarkenton a big play guy? No,
not really. Fran Tarkenton had a big mouth and he could put up some big statistics in the regular season. But
he was good at selling timeshares and other multi-level marketing things. That's Fran Tarkenton's
You'll never
good
hear
for.
me say Fran Tarkenton is the greatest. No.
He's the
not at
greatest
all.
infomercial seller ever. That's what he is.
He's a marketer.
Yeah. He's a network marketer. Him and Tony Robbins, the greatest.
But see, I'm jealous of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just had it. They had it all: defense, offense, coaching, and they and the Patriots were the best dynasties I've ever seen. Best dynasty.
Why did you become a Patriots fan again? Because you're not from that area.
No, well, I started being a Patriots fan in 1976.
Oh,
just kind of jumped on that way because they were on a roll, and if
They
you
were good.
remember. They were 11-3 that year, and the Raiders were 13-1. And who they lose that one game to in the regular season? That was Patriots, 48-10 in New England. And then when it came to the playoffs in the first round, the initial playoff game, because the Raiders had home field advantage. That was in the fourth quarter. I believe New England was up by around 6, and it was third down. And third down 15, something like that. And there was that play by
Hopeless situation, and yeah, tell us more.
it was a bad call.
It was a roughing. Wasn't it a roughing the passer or any pass interference?
Roughing the passer, and on ESPN's worst calls ever. That was on the worst calls ever. So when we had the tuck play, right, which was a tuck play. As soon as it happened, the first thing came out of my mouth was justice served. Justice served, because you shouldn't have been in the first place.
Right.
And so ironic that the team, the Raiders wound up going to play in the Super Bowl. Who was that? Minnesota Vikings. It would have actually been New England versus Minnesota. And Minnesota might have won the Super Bowl. See what I'm saying? That could have been our Super Bowl. So the Raiders got to the Super Bowl. They won it on a bad call. And so when they lost when they started the New England dynasty, they lost. It was a bad call, technically, but it was illegal. It was legal, based on the rules. So I wasn't mad because that was just karma. Karma came back, So
yeah.
Karma
has a way of doing that.
Great teams get calls like that. My Vikings don't get calls like that. The Patriots get calls like that. The Raiders get calls like that. The Steelers. If you ask any player, I asked Franco Harris one time. I asked two players some situations where it was controversy. Franco Harris, I asked, and he said no comment on that ball hitting the ground. Drew Pearson on pushing off on the immaculate reception, no comment. It happened. He pushed off, and then Franco Harris, the ball was on the ground.
Oh.
That's why when he looked back, he was surprised that they didn't call it as an incomplete pass.
Pushing off? You're talking about the pushing off being the illegal part of that play?
Yeah, Drew Pearson pushed off. Yeah.
Oh.
And he knew it.
Oh, yeah.
See, great teams get away with calls.
Sure.
They have
teams like the Vikings, no. We don't get away with stuff like that.
Oh, but you got Kirk Cousins. Everything's solved. He's a perfect quarterback. Why are you misusing such great talent? I mean, the Redskins haven't been the same without him.
Well, no fans might help us, though.
Yeah.
You guys are stuck with Kirk Cousins for the duration.
Yeah. With that contract we are.
Well, Jerry Jones is going to have limited fans. I think the Bengals are. A few teams are saying they're going to open with limited fans in attendance.
Well, did you see that? Did you see that they had high school football yesterday? They had fans. It was a high school game in Alabama.
Yeah.
They also had college football. They had fans. So I'm feeling they're going, like you said, they're going to start having limited fans come.
Yeah, just try and keep them away. Like, what are you going to tailgate? Yeah, try and keep the
Dallas
tailgaters
is going to have some fans at their games.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to have tailgaters. And people are going to congregate.
Yeah, it's just going to be limited.
They cover this up by just saying you come at your own risk.
That's right, yeah.
They got lost.
That's all they got to say.
Would I risk my life for football? I don't know. Just kidding. Just kidding, of course.
Of course you would, yes. What are you talking about?
But I feel like my life's been taken away from me in a lot of ways, and this is just one little way to get it back. Well, we could play him some clips from with 007 clips. Let's see. We
played some 007.
You know,
clips
but what about the? He didn't want the. You want to hear the history of the world clip?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he sent us that one. He sent us that one. Let's play him.
Is that where it came from? I like it.
Yeah, Stuart
cool.
sent me that.
Great clip.
Move that miserable piece of shit!
It's like a stalled Ford Pinto or something.
I love his eyes. The piece of shit is the horse.
Well, car.
Yeah. Carrying Empress Nympho.
Stop. Could you please step on the same foot at the same time? My tits are falling off! Empress Nympho! Empress Nympho! Miriam! What are you doing here?
Miriam.
You're a Vestal Virgin. You know that Phoebes are not allowed outside the palace without an escort.
Empress, this man just saved our lives. Now they want to kill him. We need your help.
Which one, the white guy or the color guy?
The slave. Please spare his life.
I didn't know she used that word.
Perhaps you can use him at the palace. He's truly gifted.
He's truly gifted.
Bob!
Yes, Your Highness.
Oh, Bob, do I have any openings that this man might fit?
Well, we could use another wine steward. I got a great corkscrew. It's a hip crowd.
Gregory Hines.
Gregory, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Running Scared.
He's a pretty good actor and a great dancer. Great dancer.
What happened to him? He made some great films in the 80s. I saw lots of him, and he was up and coming.
I know. He's just had a limited shelf life, I guess. Have you seen Gregory Hines in much after the one? What was the one he did that you mentioned?
Running Scared?
Running Scared.
Yeah, the cop show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you know Gregory Hines passed away. He passed away.
He did. He passed away.
Yeah, that's why I haven't seen him.
Okay, that explains that.
Yeah,
my condolences.
Early 90s. He had cancer, yeah.
Oh, no.
He was married to a bodybuilder, and she passed away of cancer as well.
Oh, no.
She was
really?
Very attractive bodybuilder. And
what was her name?
Cancer,
what was the bodybuilder's name?
Yeah.
Do you know the bodybuilder's name?
I don't. I'd have to go to look it up right quick. But she was kind of famous. She was a world champion bodybuilder. Let me see right here.
I used to follow that. I wonder if I remember her.
You probably would.
Well, because there's not that many female bodybuilders. I mean,
well, in the early '90s there were a few. I mean, the sport was kind of still developing. And
Pamela Kosla.
What's that?
No, maybe it's a different one. Hold on a second. Hold on. Maybe it's a second wife or something. Hold on one second. Or maybe it's his girlfriend. Hold on 1 second here. He had a relationship. Where is it at? It has to be her. It's right here. Maybe it is. Maybe I think. Let's see right here. I don't. He must have been the girlfriend he had right there. Just passed away. Yeah, but
that's okay. Well, maybe I'll find that shed more light on that in the highlights.
Okay.
But we should make I should say something in tribute.
Oh, Negrita Jade. Negrita Jade.
Okay.
You ever hear of her?
No.
Negrita Jade.
Negrita Jade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she was huge. Negrita Jade. She passed away in 2009. Yeah.
Wow.
She's a world champ. She was a Canadian female bodybuilding champion.
Oh,
yeah. So and she very. I mean, she's big as a man though, but she's very beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful. Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of people that passed away, we did lose Cliff Robinson. That was too bad.
Yeah, Uncle Cliff. Yeah.
You two gentlemen can tell me about Cliff, because I wasn't that familiar with his work. I
don't remember his starring for the... he played for the Portland Trailblazers early in his career in the early 90s. He was on the teams. I think he was on both teams that went to the finals and lost. But
yeah, and he had the headbands. He changed his headbands all. He was known for his headbands, like you said earlier.
Yeah,
on Chap Dog.
Huh. And he was.
But energy.
What do you think?
Full of energy. I think energy. He was an energy player.
Yeah, he was just really physical, and he had long arms and good defender. He averaged 14 points a game for his career. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he made the All-Star game one year, and he was all defensive one year. So he had some talent. He had a little bit of talent there.
Won the Sixth Man of the Year award.
Yeah.
And a guy and there are not a lot of guys that can last that long. He lasted about 17 years from what I saw.
Yeah. Uncle Cliffy could play the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also lost Lou Olson, who was the coach of the Arizona Wildcats for a long time.
Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Engineered the famous upset of Kansas in 1996, I think, or 98. Nearly.
It was 98. Yeah, 98.
Yeah, my wife was pretty upset about that. That was like the worst it ever got for Kansas, because that was just typical. They were favored going into the tournament. People were saying there's no way they can lose, and then this team, Mike Bibby was on that team.
I actually thought Arizona was better anyway. I don't think Arizona got the credit because they're on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Arizona's a hell of a team.
They had great guards. Those two guards they had, Miles Simon and
really good thing.
Bibby.
Bibby was excellent.
Yeah. And Bibby went on to star for the Kings, and we know what happened to the Kings.
The Sacramento Queens.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice.
And the Cowbells.
Yeah. Lakers went into Cowtown and came out with a very controversial victory in the last. Do you remember that, Eric?
Oh yeah.
That was
Cow Palace.
That was kind of bullshit. I mean, definitely bullshit. I thought I really hated the Lakers at that point. It felt like it was so rigged.
It sure appeared that
way. They should have beat it. I mean, Sacramento had some great teams in the early 2000s. Great teams. Not good teams. They were great teams.
Right.
It might have been some of the greatest teams that never won a championship. They were that good.
Right.
They were. I would say they were comparable to the Seattle team. They lost to Chicago. They were that good.
Oh, and, the one that had the Seattle team that had Sean Kemp.
Yeah, that's the 86.
96.
Yeah. No, 96. Yeah, 96. 96. Seattle team.
Yeah.
I think they won 65 games. I think that year, something like that. Yeah. Hell of a record, but they went up to a 72 team.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember who was on the Seattle team that did that lost to the Bulls. It was Sean Kemp, and then who else? Was it Detlef Schrempf?
Yes.
Gary Payton.
Detlef Schrempf.
You had
name.
Yeah.
What's the forward's name? Detlef. Was it Detlef?
Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, Detlef Schrempf. Yeah.
White guy. Yeah.
No joke. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then a few other guys that I can't remember. Gary Payton was on that team?
Yeah, Gary Payton was locked down. He was locked down.
The glove.
Now,
the glove.
Locked down Michael Jordan, but anybody else he could though.
Oh yeah.
When Michael Jordan came to play, it was like in the when they had the documentary. He had the nerve to tell Michael he shut him down, and Michael just laughed at him like, "Really? Did you really shut me down? I don't think so."
Yeah, there wasn't anybody that really could shut him down.
No.
Except the mob.
You talking about Michael's gambling problem? He had a slight gambling problem.
It's just like it's a
they say
peaceful
he's really
protest.
not even a good gambler. They say he usually loses.
Mm-hmm.
he and Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley can't gamble either.
Oh, Barkley.
But he can get a blowjob in a parking lot. He can do that.
Yeah, that he can. He can. He can get it well.
You've been watching the NBA show lately? I watched it last night, and Shaq broke a broom over his knee or something.
What?
Over his knee, over his head, and he was breaking brooms and bending bars, and Charles Barkley got into the act of trying to break a broom. He almost killed himself.
Yeah, but he had to prove he could do it.
Yeah, leave it to Shaq. Don't let.
I watched.
Only professionals can do these acts.
Those guys have some funny little contests. I watched them one time. They had a bench press contest. Did you ever see this?
I believe I did.
Between those two guys, and you know who bench pressed?
I saw it. I saw it.
You see who bench pressed more between Charles and Shaq? It was actually Charles.
Really?
Yeah.
I would never have guessed. I think Shaq.
Yeah,
beat him
you would think Shaq is just bigger, isn't he? He's a monster. But Charles did 4 plates, and Shaq only could do 3.
Huh.
And I'm like,
well, you think about almost, even though Charles was big then, but let's say this, not necessarily pound for pound, but for inch, he's the best. He might be the best player ever. He was only 6'4", and he dominated the inside. Man, 6'4". He was like a later Wes Unseld with offense.
Yeah,
he just dominated. You know,
I thought he was 6'6". He's only 6'4".
The likes of Shaq, who's 7'1", something like that, 7 foot 300 pounds, and still bang with it. So he was a freak of nature. So he's actually very underrated, even though he's a Hall of Famer. Because I think that Charles Barkley, I would rate him over Karl Malone because he did it by himself, basically, to get to a championship. Karl Malone needed Stockton. He had to have Stockton. But Charles Barkley is very underrated.
Very.
I would pick him over Malone any day.
Any day.
As a power forward.
Yeah.
Even though Malone has better scoring numbers, doesn't he?
It was a system. It was a great system. You can't knock the system. You know, he just got the ball. I mean, think about it. If you had Stockton, you probably scored 20,000 points. Because he's going to get to the ball.
Yeah, because you're getting the ball in the right place all the time.
All the time. You know, all the time. You know, it was a great. That pick and roll was deadly. Deadly pick and roll. Yeah.
Well,
so, I don't knock. You know, and if it would have been for Michael Jordan, they probably would have won a couple of championships.
Right. Oh, I felt bad for Utah because you just knew when they lost it that second time, you just knew they're not going to be back for a long time. Yeah. Well, who do you like? Do you like Utah or Denver today? Utah and Denver are playing today. Game 6.
I'm hoping Utah wins because I think if it goes 7 games, the Clippers will have an easy time with whoever comes out. So, I'm hoping that Utah just goes ahead and finish them off so they can at least not be so tired.
I think Denver's going to stretch this to 7 games. I just have a feeling.
They could though. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though.
You know, with this bubble thing, there's no home court advantage. So, I don't really know. You can't rely on a crowd at all. Experience really matters a lot, and Denver's got more experience. Those players have been together, haven't they? A little longer than Utah.
Yeah, but Denver's probably the softest team in the NBA.
Yeah, they are soft.
They're soft. They just don't have it. I mean, the Joker should be better than he is. He has so much skill, but he scores 21 points in the first quarter and disappears the rest of the game. Yeah. What is that? You know, and Murray, even though Murray is very good, but he only averages 18 points a game. He's a better player than that. You know.
Well, I mean, usually they have a bunch of guys that score, so it's kind of a committee type approach. But they lost a couple of their players to injuries, Barton and I forgot the other guy. There's 2 guys that they don't have now, and so they're a little depleted. But they still have enough firepower, I think, to stretch this. And Utah, I just never really got comfortable with them as one of the top teams in the West. They've got Mitchell, who's great. But what else do they have? And can you rely on the rest of them?
Well, what's his name? Bogdanovich? He's injured. That's one of the guys they've needed. And he's injured right now.
He's gone.
So that's with them.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, that hurt a lot. But he's one that beat Milwaukee in Utah at the end of the game. So, I mean, he's very deadly from the 3-point range. But Donovan Mitchell is very good, though. I mean, he's something else. And see, what I like about him, he plays it like, when you look at the top players, LeBron, Kawhi, Giannis, what do they usually do when they win? They take it inside. Look at the players who don't win. Harden, even though Harden takes it inside, he lives on the outside. You have to take the ball inside. And that's why Donovan Mitchell might be the next superstar guard, because he's learned to take the ball inside. He's learned the mid-range. And you learn the mid-range to go inside, outside game becomes wide open, you know. So I look for good things to come from Donovan Mitchell. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he has learned this game really good. And I think he's going to explode within the next couple of years. You know, the West is full of guards. Man, it's full of guards. Goodness.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget about Westbrook. He's getting better. He's getting healthy.
He's getting better, but I forgot Westbrook's getting kind of old too, isn't he? Yeah. He's been around for a minute.
He's getting old.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm just waiting for him, and I hope it doesn't happen to have that flat tire, because he is all that energy, and I hope he can sustain it, because I love his style.
Mm-hmm.
I love his style.
I do too. He's so aggressive for a little man.
Yeah,
he has no fear.
He is a little man. Yeah.
He's got the hops though.
Yeah.
And he's a good UCLA guy. I always root for my UCLA guys, right?
Well, think of the talent they had in what is it, 07 and 08. Was it 07 and 08? And they never won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
They had Westbrook. They had Love. That's when Love was dominant, when he wasn't soft. They had Love. They had, I mean, at one point, between between like 05 and 2015, UCLA had more players in the NBA than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They were that good, but they never won a championship. You know. So,
yeah. Well, karma.
They have a lot of time to go through that.
Yeah, karma. That's karma.
They're paying for all those recruiting violations under John Wooden. Whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? That's exactly it.
We're not supposed to talk about that, but
no, it never happened.
There might be a little bit of a reason why they won all those championships in a row.
Yeah, maybe. But no, there's no reason.
Eric's a USC fan, so you're hearing a lot.
Not when it comes to basketball. I mean, who doesn't like John Wooden? You know,
yeah,
the Wooden way.
Got to roll that program up and put your suit on and look like John Wooden. Well, we're coming up on a break here, so I don't know if you want to stay on or not, but it's been a pleasure talking to you. We should do this more often, Drew.
Thank you. I'm going to have to run out there. I take care of things. I've been the president. I'll be back next week if that's okay.
Okay.
Fantastic. Yeah, looking forward to it.
You are the basketball authority.
It's good to hear some proper basketball talk for a change.
Yes, we finally got brought up to speed and everything. So, all right. Well, let's hope for a good week, and you take care of yourself. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Be safe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We're going to go to our break right now. We'll be right back.
Chab Dog Sports Talk Radio Show.
We're told that greatness is exceptional when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life Gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit DefyLifeGear.com to get fitted for greatness.
The law office of Brandon S. Chabner, serving clients in Southern California with transactional legal services since 2007. We handle general, corporate, outside counsel type work, drafting and negotiating a wide variety of business and commercial contracts, including non-disclosure agreements, independent contractor agreements, and employment agreements. Our experience includes working with public and private companies and involves a broad range of industries, including healthcare, consumer products, real estate, and high technology. Mr. Chabner has over 20 years of legal experience, having worked for some larger national firms and serving as general counsel for a multi-million-dollar private company here in Southern California before starting his own legal practice. His educational credentials include a law degree from UCLA, where he was on law review, undergraduate degree at Yale, where he graduated magna cum laude, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Other areas of focus for Chabner Law include press release and business plan editing, pre-litigation matters, and debt and mortgage resolution work. You can contact us at 310-698-0740 and at bchabner@chabnerlaw.com.
Like Chab Dog said, he was 100% right.
He can take all comers.
The number 2 clutch quarterback of all time, John Elway.
I find it very hard to believe that somebody would be ranked ahead of John Elway, especially since he has the record for fourth quarter comebacks.
With an NFL record 47 fourth quarter comebacks, the question wasn't whether or not the Broncos would win. It was how John Elway would do it.
The Broncos with one of their greatest come from behind wins.
I think you have to put him at the top of the list.
John Elway belongs at number 1.
John Elway is right at the very, very top. In addition to being maybe the greatest athlete to play the quarterback position,
Touchdown, Denver.
John Elway had that late game magic.
Here goes the pass. Rod Smith up. He got it. Broncos win.
Week in and week out.
Time is run out.
It came down to John Elway either making a play in the fourth quarter, that last drive, or them not winning.
You ought to knife the guy.
If John Elway has had 47 comebacks, why is it that all you guys ask about is the drive?
His drive against the Cleveland Browns is legendary.
For us to be backed up on our own 2-yard line.
And the Broncos are 98 yards away from where they need to go.
In that stadium, in that environment.
Elway in the end zone and throwing it incomplete.
I think it was vintage. I think it was as good as you'll see. I don't think there's any question.
The pass for Sewell. Got it and keeps it. Another first down for the Broncos.
If they needed 9 yards, they got 10.
Stretch out the chain. Denver has the first down.
If they needed 12 to get a first down, they got 13.
Come on, Johnny!
The way he played that drive.
The look, the throw, touchdown!
Is the very definition of clutch quarterbacking.
98.5-yard drive.
You can debate on so many things. Who's the greatest? Who did this the best? John's ability to improvise and to find a way to win is the greatest I've ever seen.
Elway, here comes the blitz. He steps away from it and lets the pass go long. He's going for a touchdown.
We've seen it so often where Elway's running one way and he scrambles and gets away from somebody.
Look for a play now. Twirls around, still has the ball.
He throws the ball across the field, across his body like you're not supposed to do.
Only Elway can pull that off.
He was a Michael Jordan in some ways. You just give him the ball and get out of his way.
He did what he did, but then you wonder, well, why'd they get behind?
Early in his career, our number 2 quarterback's license to thrill expired every time he reached a Super Bowl.
You have to question John's decision to throw that. Dang it.
In the 3 Super Bowls that he lost, he did not play well.
Stupid John.
He was the guy that couldn't win the big one. And now all of a sudden, he's the second most clutch quarterback. I'm not certain I follow that.
Matt Millen is telling him to keep his head up.
Next to Dan Marino, he played with maybe the least talented group of players year in and year out of anybody on this list.
I don't think there's anybody that could have ever brought us to the 3 Super Bowls with the cast that we had than John Elway.
When Elway finally did win a Super Bowl, he got the running back he needed, but it was Elway who ran the hardest.
Packers jumping around, they rush 4. Plenty of time for John now, squeezes, steps up in the pocket. Elway can run. Come on, John, come on.
That helicopter spin.
He flies behind the 5-yard line.
Kind of epitomized the will and the determination of John Elway.
You want to tell me the 37-year-old man doesn't want to win this game? That's sacrifice. Oh, man.
It was unspoken, and yet it could not have been more eloquent.
Denver's going to win it. Oh, baby, they're going to win this thing. Are you kidding me?
Probably the greatest, or one of the greatest 2 quarterbacks in the clutch.
This guy will go down as the greatest come-from-behind player.
Yeah, but Joe Montana's number 1. All right, we're back. Brian Keller from Sports Rock is on, our next guest. How are you doing, Brian?
Okay, so it turns out not all laptops are created
Eric,
equal,
can you turn this off?
Which is why it's switching time to a Chromebook designed to make
Hold on
life
a sec.
easy. So you're not stuck waiting. Because Chromebooks boot up as fast as 6 seconds. And so you never get interrupted by updates again.
YouTube's going crazy. Okay, we just...
Autoplay's on.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
Problem solved.
All right, well, good to have you on. I'm sorry we couldn't get you on when you called earlier. It was some kind of technical snafu with the phone lines.
Yeah, sometimes Skype won't allow us to have more than one caller at a time on the line. And it's been really good lately. For weeks it's been fine, but for some reason today it was only letting one call, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. I was listening to the show there before
Yeah,
called in here.
We were talking a lot of basketball with Drew Owens. Have you ever met him?
Me?
Yeah. Have you ever been on when Drew's been on?
Not that I recall, huh?
No. Yeah, he's really into basketball, and I like it because he takes it to a new level, and I think he watches more than I do. So I learned something when I talked to him. He thinks that he thinks the Celtics have a pretty good chance of beating the Raptors, which I like to hear.
Well, I mean, I would like to see the Celtics have some success. I mean, it's one of the old traditions there.
Yeah. We're going to watch, we're going to try to get the game on. Do you think we can get the game, Eric?
No promises. Yeah, because here's NBC, and they're playing bike riders.
I don't think I want to watch cycling.
No.
I see enough of that when I drive down the
Manhattan
PCH.
Beach, man. That's all you get there. So
yeah,
it's got to be on one of the networks here. So CBS has.
It's on. Well, I'll tell you what it's on. It's on. It's probably on TNT or TBS. Isn't that where the basketball or ABC? But
ABC, okay. If
maybe
it's on
it's
ABC.
ABC.
We can do it. Okay, so they're playing an infomercial here on CBS. NBC was the aforementioned bicycle race.
Okay.
Ooh, that's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Look at the.
Oh, it's the Tour. It's the Tour de France.
Ooh, Tour de France. Yeah.
Is that social distancing correct there?
Sure doesn't look
Those
like
bikers are getting awfully close to each other.
Yep. Okay, here comes ABC.
ABC. No.
They got the news on. Hey,
Yeah.
UCLA.
So what's up in your life, Brian? The fires are over, right?
Yeah, everything's good here. We're still about 100 degrees every day out here.
Yeah.
Chab, don't you ever think of moving to Palm Springs? Ever want to be like to live there 24/7? The thought crosses my mind sometimes.
I don't know. I'd have to really think about that. Then I wouldn't be able to go for my bike rides on the beach.
No bike rides. No beach.
That's
You can
actually-
bike rides. You can bike ride around there. That's great country to bike ride.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to really
yeah.
think about that. There's things about Los Angeles that I probably like a lot more than I realize. And
I really miss the beach being reasonably close.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice.
When I lived in Anaheim, I was on the west side of it. But it was only, when I was younger, I was riding bike down to the beach. So it wasn't that far. I think it made me 15, 16 miles.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not
to Huntington.
Well,
that's not too far.
That's a pretty good bike ride if you're going 30 miles.
Well,
There and
round
back.
trip.
There and back.
Yeah, that's nothing for.
Yeah, like I said, no, I
anybody
was
under 40.
a lot younger.
Yeah.
It's nothing for anybody under 40. Well, I can't identify with that. I'm over 40. But it's
Even hitchhiked a few times when I was young, when I was a kid.
Oh, you did?
That was the thing you could do back then.
Hitching, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna ever do that now. There's just too many unknowns out there.
It's funny to think that at one time it seemed to be safe and acceptable.
Yeah.
Like it was no problem.
I've never hitchhiked, and I've never picked up a hitchhiker.
I've done both.
Me and my buddies, we used to pick up girls and chicks.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great way to pick up girls.
You guys did that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
We weren't creeps or anything, but it was.
Well, that's what she said.
My favorite hitchhiker thing in a movie is that scene in Up in Smoke when Cheech picks up Chong because he thinks that Chong's a
Well, in the rearview mirror, looks like
Chong's a
all you see is
good-looking
the
girl
boobs,
because
yeah.
Chong's got his. It's either his. He put something in his shirt to resemble boobs, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
And
Yeah.
Cheech says, "Get right in, double bubble." He said, "Hey, you're not a girl, you're a guy. That's false advertising."
Yeah, that's how that went.
False advertising.
We don't have that clip, do we?
Not at our fingertips.
Mm.
Trying to get the NBA loaded up here,
the
but
thing
it's the same
is,
remote control. turns the music
Boston,
on.
Toronto it's on now. It's 1 p.m. Eastern, right? So
I'm seeing if we can get it right. Oh, there. No, it's in pregame.
Oh, pregame. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So we did have a great clip to kind of talk through with you. Did you see this thing I sent about the guy that stole second, stole third, and stole home?
Yeah. This is great.
Oh yeah.
That was hilarious. Let's watch that again.
You don't see that
All the
much
bases
anymore,
in this.
huh?
No.
John Birdie stole all the bases in this game, and strap in because it's more fun than you even think it is. I promise you. Here's his at bat. Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, strike 1. Nice pitch, says Sanchez, the catcher. Ball 4. Okay, so he's on first base, and now the fun begins. Sanchez looking over at him, getting excited. This dude's going to try to steal on us. Let's throw him out. All jazzed up, cleaning off the hand, ready to go, and forgot to catch the ball. God damn it. Forgot to catch the ball. Birdie's on second. Just chilling, hanging out.
He forgot to catch the ball.
Now he's on second base.
ball
There's
just went
one
behind
out.
him?
Yeah.
And he's just
He
chilling.
went to the catcher went to his
Relaxing.
glove like it was there.
So the
Watching to
catcher's
see how
looking
things
very
unfold.
unreliable at
Looks
this
at
point.
second, looks
Yeah,
at
he's only at
third,
second.
looks at the pitcher, and he's
Okay,
off.
now he's off.
It's not even a great jump. It's like
Nope.
the ball is basically in the catcher's glove by the time his body is fully turned to third base.
Mhm.
It's like a weird delayed, not delayed, but I think he just knew the Mets were sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Davis didn't cover third, so he's safe. Sanchez is like, okay, well, okay. And he's like, okay, well, okay. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. And now I'm over here. And now he's just on third, and he's still hunting. He's figuring it out. He's seeing everything. Sanchez looks over at him after every pitch, grabs the ball, looks over at him, throws the ball
Lobs
to the
it
pitcher,
back.
looking over at him. I'm keeping tabs on you. Uh-oh, where do you think you're going, Birdie? You're not stealing a third bag on me. You already stole two. Now, I think Birdie sees this throw back to the pitcher, a lob.
Mm-hmm.
Pitcher catches it, never looks at third. So, you know.
Familiar.
Yeah, he
So
checked
tank
on
was
you.
going
and
nuts.
then
Yeah.
he lobbed it back to the pitcher. Pitcher
What a
never
blockhead.
looked over at third base. Saw that, says, oh, that seems interesting. Catcher looks over at him, lob, and he's off to the races,
Yep.
and he's
There he goes.
crawling off to the races.
The guy even fell
Safe,
down.
emphatic safe call. He starts running. He
Yeah.
goes one hand, two hand,
Boy,
three
he
hands,
uses his
four
hands.
hands, fifth
Look
hand,
at that.
regains
Stay
his
up.
balance. The throw is spiked, though, and he's
Yep.
safe. Pitchers have
he's
trouble
familiar,
throwing
threw
the
it into the
ball
ground.
when they're not pitching the ball.
You mean the throw home
And
was
he's
bad?
in there.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
cool.
see? Throw
I did-
home
I
And then it was very embarrassing. And then it was cool. So Birdie doesn't really know how to celebrate. Because, yeah, your scouting
Horrible.
report on the lob was fantastic. A+ scouting on the lob. Saw it happen, knew it was going to happen.
a lob.
Great. Checks on him. So now we're cool. Look how cool he is, you know?
Okay.
And the lob's there, and he's off.
He ran the
And
lob.
I think if he doesn't stumble, he's probably
Yeah.
pretty safe, close play. But he stumbles, so now we're in embarrassing mode. Now we're in, oh, my God, the pitcher's just going to toss it to the catcher. This is embarrassing.
But he doesn't. Well,
I'm embarrassed. And then the pitcher spikes it, and he's safe. So now we're back in
couldn't
this
see that.
weird, not really cool,
here, you'll see here.
but not embarrassed either, but kind of cool mode. Wild
Yeah, there it
ride.
is.
Wild ride.
Yeah,
Fun
pitcher
result
low.
for the
Off
Marlins.
the ground.
About 5
Sanchez couldn't catch
unfun
it.
results for the Mets. Because I think every stolen base came with a mental or physical error by the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Birdie stole.
Okay, that was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. Don't see it very often.
Yeah, when was the last time somebody stole home?
It happens. I don't know, Brian. What do you think? the statistics are on how many times home gets stolen in a year. Does it happen like, I don't know, 10 times? Maybe less?
During the course of the season, maybe?
Yeah. That would be an interesting question.
Perhaps, yeah.
A lot of them happen because of like pass balls or wild pitches. I don't even know if that's actually if it's due to an error. Is that a stolen base? It is, right?
Let me think.
I think it is.
No, I mean, if it's an outright error, I don't think it's a stolen base.
Like a wild pitch.
But it's like that one where the catcher didn't actually have the ball. They didn't count that against him. Although that's basically a fielding blunder, but it's a little different, when they steal. One of the things I saw back in the day that was one of the best moves was pulling off the double steals.
Yeah, that's always
then
exciting.
It just really challenges the catcher as to where you're going to go. I've seen that work a few times.
Well, maybe you can find this out later. Who's got the lead, all-time lead in stealing home? I'm guessing it might be somebody like Jackie Robinson.
Found Frank.
Sure.
I am really tired of Rick Porcello.
Frank's getting tired.
We looked it up once.
He's live.
Oh.
Look at this. He can't find a fucking plate.
He's watching the Mets and the Yankees play live right now.
Well, we got the Boston Celtics Toronto Raptors update. The Celtics are up 8-3. It's technically the Raptors are the home team.
Oh, look at that, eh?
Yeah. But that's a meaningless distinction in the bubble, right?
I know.
Why even,
same with MLB. They won't let you
even
see local games in your local market, but then nobody can see the games. It's like you can't go to the game anyway. So why do they black it out? It doesn't make any sense.
Why even have the home or away team in the bubble?
Here's an interesting one. They have the only players to steal second, third, and home more than once. There's only 4 of them. Jackie Travener, no idea. Max Carey, they both did it twice. Honus Wagner did it 4 times in the NL.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Cobb did it 4 times in the AL.
Right. Yeah, Ty
the
Cobb.
List shows. I'm just looking down the list here. Stealing every base during the same inning by Baseball Almanac. American League, there's been 26 times. And so what was the guy's name?
The guy who stole his bases that we played this clip on? I don't remember. Do you remember his name? He played for the Mets, but I don't. For Florida.
That would be the 28th time that's happened in National League history.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah. That's a rare company.
Yeah. It's not that many, huh? So like 50. So it's happened all time like 50 times.
It was about 54 times.
Mm-hmm. Is that about the same number of times that people have hit for the cycle in a game?
I'm thinking there's probably far more of those.
More cycles?
Yeah.
God, I don't know.
Perhaps.
Cycles are pretty hard to do.
Let's see what it says.
Yeah. He let himself go, except for his weight. It looks like he hasn't slept in a while. He's not sleeping.
Waiting for the page to fill in. Yeah. It's always interesting.
So you looking up the cycle? I'm just guessing that there have been about 50 or 60 cycles in history. Oh.
330 times.
Wow. 330.
That goes back to the first official one was in 1882.
God. So that's like 2 a year.
Two or 2 years.
3.
Yeah. But we're coming up on
so stealing first.
years.
So stealing home is a really difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I was still.
You are correct.
That's what I was looking for. Stealing a home. Right.
Particularly in succession.
I did see the. Well, it's kind of funny because I kind of mentioned it. What's his name? LeBron there when the Lakers turned it on.
What about LeBron?
The Trailblazer. Well, I was saying that before that LeBron needs to tune it up a notch.
Oh.
Pretty good game there.
Yeah. Yeah. But just remember the Blazers didn't have Lillard. They weren't they were kind of a shell of their former selves.
Stealing home plate. Ty Cobb 54 times.
Wow.
Max Carey second at 33.
Playing the Brewers.
Max Carey.
Hey, and our George Burns, 28.
George Burns. There's that guy again. Remember him?
George Burns.
One of the Burns.
Yeah, no, I bet it's the George Burns that had the same amount of homers as triples. It's that guy. Because
one of them was a big base stealer.
He was fast. You got to be fast, very fast to do that.
Honus Wagner's 27, number 4, and Sherry McGee 23.
Oh, that's another good name, Brian. Sherry McGee. You should check that guy out.
Yeah, for a woman.
He's Irish.
You check her out, right?
He's Irish.
She's Irish?
Sherry McGee.
He was one of those guys in the late 1800s, I think, wasn't he?
If he wants to have a girl name, that's fine with me. It's perfectly fine.
1904 to 1919.
Oh, 1904. He's a real
long career,
a real dead ball era guy. He probably had
41 career stolen bases.
Yes, he was fast.
166 triples.
Yes, a lot of triples.
Not in the Hall of Fame.
What were his? How many hits did he have? About 2,200.
2169.
Pretty good. I just pulled that one
He
right.
did hit 83 home runs, which is pretty decent back in that day.
What was the average?
291.
Damn, just missed it. Not quite high enough.
Yeah, he's just right there. Yeah.
He's on the bubble.
1,100 runs, 1,100 RBIs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
So you want to talk? You want to talk any baseball right now?
I was did kind of a check-in post on Sports Rock the other day about basically at or past now the halfway point, seeing where everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
The races are all pretty much wide open.
Yeah, everything's...
And I did notice that no sooner than I said it, who was it? Wasn't that one? What league was that? Oh, the A's have dropped a couple of games. The Astros are now just 2.5 back. They had a 5-game lead a couple of days ago.
Yeah, the Astros beat the A's last night, and
yep.
Yeah, I guess they're starting to put it together a little, and
they're cheating better.
They've got a substitute for the trash can, I guess.
Yeah.
The Rays, I don't know if it's their surprise team considered, but they're hanging
Rays
tough
are a
over the
surprise
Yankees there.
Is it the Rays or the Marlins that has Jeter? It's Marlins that Jeter's messed up, right? Brian,
yeah, they're...
The Marlins is Jeter's team.
Jeter owns?
He's a GM.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah, Jeter's team, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, they're just 2 games behind the Braves, even though they're
secret.
only 14-14. Phillies won 5 in a row. They're 14-14, 2 games back.
Mm-hmm. They kind of woke up. Yeah, the NL East is just wide open. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I got the Nationals are 5 games out in last place.
Maybe we should turn him off because I'm getting
distracted.
Yeah,
being heartburn.
It's too difficult for me.
The Cardinals have only played 24 games. Everybody else is over 30.
So they're just going to be playing double headers.
And they're just 1.5 games behind, or 3.5 games, I'm sorry, behind the Cubs. They got a few games to make up.
So the Cardinals are technically in the playoffs now because they're in second?
They're actually in third.
Oh.
The Brewers got them by percentage points.
Well, Brewers haven't been any great shakes. Mediocrity
The
city.
Brewers and Cardinals both have losing records, but they're 3.5 games behind the Cubs.
And in the Central Division, it's the, what is it, the Twins and the Indians in the AL?
Oh, yeah, they got a race going there. The Indians up 1 now over the White Sox.
Oh.
Twins are 1.5 back.
Oh, the Twins aren't even in first anymore. Yeah.
Now, they lost 4 in a row, and Indians have won 4, so...
Yeah, the White Sox are actually pretty good this year. They got pitching and some hitting. I didn't realize that they have Edwin Encarnacion.
Oh, yeah.
I
a good one.
I call him the Double E battery. He's pretty. He's an energizer.
I thought he was condensed milk. Oh, here, check this out. Patriots. See that one? Bear spray there.
Oh, Eric's showing us. He's showing
bear spraying of crowds in.
Did you hear about
Portland.
what happened in Portland? Was it yesterday?
It was last night. A few hours ago this morning.
Last night, this morning, there was, I guess, some right wing guys. Was it pro America guys?
He wasn't Antifa, I'll tell you that.
They drove a caravan of pickups through.
I don't know if he was part
downtown
of the caravan, but there was somebody was shot dead in there. They weren't part of Antifa.
Yeah.
Marxists or troublemakers, or these troublemaker of another stripe.
I mean, that's the thing. If you got people running around with guns that aren't being arrested and stopped, this can happen. People can die.
Exactly.
That's what happened in Minnesota, right? And
it seems like now maybe that was happening before, but now it seems to me like we're starting to see a lot more of the whites or rights or the Trumpsters starting to show up at these places.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was bound to happen, wasn't it? It just you could.
That's what I was thinking too. And before, I was surprised that it hadn't happened sooner.
Yeah. Very slow response.
It's just going to make the problem that much worse, because then now you're going to have the police trying to break up fights, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah, that whole thing in Wisconsin was just bizarre. That guy was just walking down the street, and they're just driving by him like, he's all right. That was weird.
Oh, you talking about the guy that got pulled out of his truck and beaten up?
Or are you talking about the kid with the AR?
No, the kid with the rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We show him walking down the street, practically waving to the cops, and they're just driving right by him. He's got a gun slung over him. And
there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with having a gun slung over his shoulder.
He does have his hands up, but people are yelling from behind, saying, "Hey, that guy just shot somebody."
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
Though we're gonna have to hear all the facts on that one in terms of there was
he killed two.
There was a eyewitness though that I think said that somebody was. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy that did the shooting, but there was some kind of altercation.
I did hear it. Sorry, somebody else may have started the shooting.
Yeah, somebody fired a pistol. Then he was being attacked with a guy with a skateboard. So gun versus skateboard. That's self-defense. I mean, okay, skateboard lost.
I don't know how.
So that's probably not illegal. The other guy came at him, the crazy guy who turned out to be a sex offender who was dead, but it was a registered sex offender. He was attacking with some kind of weapon. So again, AR beats that weapon. Self-defense, boom. So now we're left with the other guy. In fact, there were two, of the three people, I think two of them had criminal records.
So there were three people that were killed?
Yeah. No, two killed, one injured.
Okay, so
two killed, one injured, yeah.
So the worst that could happen, if he was self-defense and the two guys that he killed, it's just injuring somebody?
There's evidence he was self-defense in all three.
Oh.
That's why the cops let him walk by, because he's just self-defending himself.
Well, still, you would think I don't know. I mean, you'd have to talk to the guy first to know it was self.
Well, the cops have all time to conduct an investigation. They don't have to fly off the
handle. So we'll see what happens, but then again, what happens if this guy's acquitted or something, or there's going to be another...
People behave themselves, that's what should happen.
Yeah, but the way that it's been set up by the media and everybody's expecting convictions is going to be...
It's like there's going to be no convictions for any of this stuff.
All of these cases are... I don't know what kind of progress, or if they're just dragging, or there's just intense investigation going on. Who knows how long it's going to be.
But it has to be done properly, and they have to find out what exactly happened and go from there.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. I saw the cop with the Floyd. That's routine, pretty much, I guess. But they did ask to have the charges lowered or something, I heard.
Oh, they asked them to be withdrawn on the basis of the evidence that Floyd killed himself by taking an overdose of fentanyl.
Are you? So that may be where this is going. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's here's the case. Yeah, I don't know the law here. So he was gonna die. He already took, before engaging the police officers, he already took a legal dose of fentanyl.
A lethal.
Mm-hmm. And then while engaging the police, so the police officers could they have brought harm?
I mean, if there's no causation,
if they killed him they killed him faster, maybe. But he was going to already die.
Yeah,
there's clear causation for the fentanyl, and now it calls into question: is there causation? Can there be dual causation?
I don't think there has to be proximate cause for a criminal conviction.
Yeah, so it looks like that'll go out the window, doesn't it?
Probably.
Yeah,
but he still might be.
Although the two autopsies done did attribute mostly to a lack of oxygen or something to do with the neck. But then again,
fentanyl,
I don't know.
Yeah. Fentanyl does that.
Fentanyl affects you.
Yeah, it reduces your respiratory system. So.
Mm-hmm.
Slows it right down. It'll look just like that. That's why the family had its own autopsy. There was already an autopsy done. They rushed in and said, "Oh no, we can't have that result." So they had their own autopsy done. But I think the coroner will probably the coroner's autopsy, which is the proper autopsy, which shows that he died of a fentanyl overdose, is probably going to trump the family's one, which is skewed to their point of view. Like I said, look, the guy died of an OD. It wasn't a neck to a knee to the neck at all.
Speaking of Trump, I thought it was interesting. He tweeted out this morning a poll. Somehow he finally found himself a poll that shows him winning. There was some.
Well, you knew you would find something like that somewhere.
Something like that.
He's pretty good at finding stuff.
This poll that says he's up 48 to 45 in popular vote, and he's taking most of those swing states by a 7-point margin. Now they said that the polling place is one that you never heard of these guys before, and from what I read, they seem to be pretty well right-wing based. But I just thought it was interesting because after all this time, him and his folks in the Fox News have all been trying to discredit every poll that's been released. And yet, when one shows him in favor,
all of a sudden polls are
happy to
good.
share it.
It's not consistent. It's the same with saying that if you see all the violence going on right now, you want to reelect Trump to prevent it. But it's like, hold on a second. You're the president right now. Why don't you stop it right now? I mean, what's going to happen magically to your powers in November after you're reelected that you can't execute right now to protect the citizenry? It's false logic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Backfire, yeah.
Of course, it's false. I mean,
it just seems like
Democrats are also saying many false things, but we're talking about the president. We'll point out his false things first.
There's a lot of things going on.
Lots of time for the Democrats.
A lot of dynamics at play here, and I think the Democrats want the violence. I think they want it to stop so that this.
Yeah, because they can see the polls are shifting as
there's just
regardless.
Creating
forget about what the polls are saying. The public opinion is strongly shifting towards law and order. Enough of this nonsense.
The thing that probably looked the worst was the people leaving the Republican convention and being harassed by the protesters. And physically intimidated. Yeah,
including Rand Paul. That was rather ironic that the guy who actually wrote the law to be able to
the no knock law that was being
to end no knock warrants was being accosted by a crowd that had they must. I guess they didn't know that, but even they were going to give because he was a Republican. He's a libertarian too, by the way. He's like the most right wing Republican there are.
Yeah.
It's ironic.
Yeah,
those
people don't. Well, they don't have a lot of common sense or always know what they're protesting against sometimes.
And then here's the other neat thing. So these protesters are there. Like I don't know if you gentlemen, Chabdog, you probably haven't had to get a hotel room there. Washington D.C. is an expensive place to get a hotel room. So who's paying for all these protesters' hotel rooms because they ain't local.
Well, don't you think
they ain't enough? Don't
you think they're driving in from somewhere? I mean,
well, really?
Supposedly a whole bunch of them marched in from Wisconsin or somewhere.
Oh, they walked from Wisconsin.
Well, they got to be staying somewhere.
Somebody's paying that tab. That's $250 a night at this time of year. Especially when a convention's going. Sure.
I don't know. These are real details that.
Well,
you'd probably have to
interesting
research.
Questions.
Yeah. All the crazy
George
speculation
Soros?
all these protesters. How can they afford to be out there every day? Somebody must be paying them.
Yeah, it's all that unemployment, extra $600 a week. I'm glad we got rid of that. That'll get rid of them right there. We're paying for
somebody actually posed that question. Why are these people not working? I go, well, 11 million people are unemployed to begin with.
Yeah. That's a good reason to protest right there if you're one of the 11 million who are unemployed.
Yeah.
So
there was a funny meme. I posted it too, just a quick one.
Yeah.
Some of these people are clever. They post a picture of Melania.
It's like living in
a direct quote from her speech.
Yeah.
That Donald Trump is the most loyal man for America. He'll always be loyal to you. And underneath it goes, his third wife said.
And she's the one that got cheated on with the supermodels. Is that right?
Well, that's what he would like you to believe. But she's also said she's given contradictory statements. She's also said that they never had sex once.
That she never had sex with Trump?
Yeah, correct.
The supermodel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stormy
I heard
Daniels.
that one, too.
She ain't no supermodel. I'm talking about Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, well, the porn star.
The stripper. I mean, yeah, which is, hey, it's a profession. Don't get me wrong. She's a professional at it. If you're into that kind of thing, but popular out there.
Well,
a bunch of men like to watch women take off their clothes in a club setting while they're drinking a cheap pint of beer.
I just wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't call Trump the paragon of loyalty under any
No, of
circumstances.
course not. That's the joke. That's the joke. Where's the board?
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
She did. I didn't hear. I didn't watch the convention this week. I didn't watch the Democrats. I didn't watch the Republicans either. But I did hear snippets, and I heard that the First Lady did give a speech that gave a humanizing touch to the president, and she did call out the violence and said, "Hey, everybody."
No, I thought.
Did you hear her speech?
I thought she gave a good speech, just in a stylistic standpoint, and it was rather easy to listen to, and she shouldn't be attacked for her accent and stuff like that. I think that
she did acknowledge the loss of life from the pandemic, which very few of them, if any, actually bothered to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I did share that on my thing. Even though I'm anti-Trump, I said, at least
this
we
is
know
Melania. She's
she
not
has
Trump.
some heart.
Yeah.
No, yeah, she's definitely an asset to him because she gives a much more human side, a less harsh.
Well, she was wearing a military jacket or a clothing to resemble a military jacket.
Oh, she was in green, kind of green, right?
The people have pulled up a bunch of M's on that one.
Yeah.
Very similar to what the female Nazis were wearing.
Oh, didn't know that, but it was a militaristic looking uniform, yeah. Or style, yeah, but it was at $3,000 a copy off.
The cut, yeah. The cut, though, looked just a lot like those.
Well, we're living in very interesting times.
Don't say that stupid Chinese proverb, not you.
We've got the Bonfire of the Vanities clip. We could play that. That's very apropos of this mess we're in right now.
Very apropos.
Do you want to hear? You ever seen that movie?
Bonfire of the Vanities?
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time now.
Let's play the.
Arthur
You want to
Ruskin?
play the trailer?
Let's play the trailer. It gives a better perspective.
The trailer's
here.
good.
Warner Brothers production. Oh, it's R. Wow.
Oh, good.
Means you're going to see boobies.
Okay. Here we go. My name is Peter Fallow, the man of the moment, the toast of the town. But it wasn't always this way. Let me tell you how it all began. In the 80s, making money and living well was all that mattered. And no one did it better than Sherman McCoy. Now he was a master of the universe.
Calm? Sorry. Collated? Let's not lose our composure over a few $100 million.
No one could resist him. Not his mistress.
Melanie Daniels.
Not even his dog.
It's raining and he's not happy about it, Mr. McCoy.
It's like my dog when it rains. He doesn't want to go
I,
outside.
on the other hand, was a reporter in need of a story.
This is Peter Fallow, the has-been.
Oh, Shantae.
In need of a spark. Which is exactly what I got.
This is great.
It's a body.
It looks like...
It's an animal.
No. I think
it's dead.
It's a tire.
It's a dead tire.
I turned that spark into a
He
flame.
drove into the wrong part of town.
There's a hell of a story.
We're investigating an automobile accident.
You ever do that?
on television last night.
Drive into the wrong part of
ran
town.
over anybody.
I know.
Well, we have a... Good Lord, we have a Mercedes.
Mr. McCoy, is there something you want to tell us?
And the flame spread. Would you say Henry Lamb was an honor student?
Good doesn't really apply at Rupert High. They're either cooperative or life-threatening.
Nothing is going to come of that.
True story, Chad Buck?
No, it's just a fictional true story.
I'm going to jail.
And suddenly, I was the guy who had everything. Hey, an opportunity knocks. Someone's got to answer the door.
I want to see the truth come out and burn every one of them, and
Morgan
there's
Freeman.
only one way to do that.
What's that?
Lie.
Oh, Brian De Palma.
Brian De Palma's, he's done some good movies.
Yeah, usually he's a horror director.
did Dress to Kill.
Yes. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, the best part of the movie is, I think, when in the courtroom when he pulls that thing off, where he maneuvers to get out of it, but with this recording he had, but he had to say it was his recording.
Recording?
He recorded a conversation.
He wiggles out of it, like Flounder.
Oh,
Otter, please.
there's Flounder playing first base. He's really good.
Catching everything thrown his way.
Look at that. He's got a great
That's
right
not
hand.
bad.
He's got a great right hand. I bet he's left-handed like me. You catch with your right hand like that.
From Animal House.
So anyway, yeah, this is Bonfire of the Vanities was all about news sensationalism and the public being manipulated by what the news is telling them.
Gee. Oh. How very timely.
But we really are. We're manipulated by it. It depends on if you watch one network versus another network, it really determines what you think.
Speaking of which, you turned me on to One America Network. Well, OAN.
Oh. Well,
and I've been watching
technically,
it.
I've never watched that in my life, but I've heard about it.
Oh, okay. Well, then you mentioned it, and so it
Yes.
caused me to turn it on. I've had a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed because it really is just as slanted its way, if not more so.
It's very right wing.
Like I notice it even more slanted than not that I don't notice MSNBC is also slanted. I know they're slant as well.
But I really don't know what's fake, what's fake and what isn't. It's just
it's become a matter of choice now, yeah, because truth is relative, apparently.
But the anchors make very aggressive attempts to let you know what they're thinking.
Yeah, which is certainly good entertainment, but it's not the way I was raised that news is supposed to be.
I know, but it's what MSNBC does.
Oh, and CNN, and fill in the blank. They One America and Fox.
Yeah.
Brian, is there any objective news? You know what?
A lot of their YouTube clips.
Yeah.
YouTube clips are on there.
Yeah, Brian knows what news
And
is.
they have an attractive young lady that is one of their headliners, and she delivers. I don't know. I think they've made fun of her on some of the late night comedy shows.
Oh,
the brunette.
You're talking about
Quizpotential, no, the blonde.
Liz Wheeler.
Quizpotential Barbie doll.
Yeah, Liz Wheeler.
Well, they've got a brunette
Liz
Barbie
Wheeler.
doll too. I saw her interviewing the president.
No, Liz Wheeler's the one that does the late night show that gets a lot of ratings because she's very easy on the eyes.
X-rated.
But she's very smart.
R-rated.
She knows how to talk, and she makes arguments, and I mean, there's a reason why people like her. So,
one of her favorite catchphrases, she's always going, "But did the mainstream media tell you about this?"
Oh, that girl.
No, they did not.
Okay, yeah, I saw her the other night. She does a weekly review where she said, "Here's all the news they didn't report to you this week." Yeah, I thought it was very entertaining, but it was also extremely slanted. But it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, very entertaining. I mean, top points for entertainment value in terms of having to go through it. Well, yeah, I mean, there was the case there about the abortions, partial birth abortions, and the way they should be prosecuted. Yeah, okay, she had some good points. I think of it. There was that one. There was the child sex trafficking ring in Georgia that got broken, where they were able to save 33 children who were being adults were not looking after properly.
Yeah, there's good things going on, but it's just weird that kind of stuff is popping up on my feed. People's insinuating that this is the right wing and Trump people that are doing all this good stuff, and subliminally accusing the Democrats of turning a blind eye to it. So,
and they're not.
I don't know where that comes from. Well, he would certainly hope not, but
I mean, I watched
they're kind of using it as one of their tools.
I watched the convention, and I didn't hear anything really about the violence in the cities. It was only later when Biden felt like he was getting pressured, I guess, to say something. He came out with something which was good, but it took they had to really.
It was just a few days ago. Yeah, which is I get it. I mean the The Democrats are being driven, or their ideological energy, that's getting the excitement that's really getting things fired up, is coming from the more left-wing part of the party, where the Marxists are, the Bernie people. And so they're getting the mic, and they're getting to their definition of this is protest, little looting, little fire. This is how change gets made, because change doesn't get made when everyone sits polite and waits, or at least doesn't get made as fast when things are sitting there polite. The threat of a gun, people seem to do things quicker. So I get their message, but it's just been going on. I think that's where it's starting to turn. Is there people saying, this is enough? You're not getting, nothing good is coming out of this anymore, and just more. I can just see my insurance bill going through the roof for the next 5 years to pay.
Yeah, it's just getting old.
Yeah.
I think,
and Democrats don't like that either. Americans don't like that. Of all stripes don't like it. So there's enough toleration there for a while. I gotta say, if this really was a fascist country, if this truly was a place totalitarians, nobody had been lighting anything on fire. There've been no people talking anywhere. This would have been shut down months ago. This ain't so that tells you right there. And I don't know any other country in the world that would have let it go on like this. Can you guys name one? I can't.
No, nothing off the top of my head.
No.
I don't know.
They would have shut this down in Britain.
Does this happen in Europe?
And all that sort
they would shut this down. Well, they tried to do it in France. They had their little the vest protesters. Remember that? The purple yellow vest protesters in France.
Oh yeah.
But when it got out of line, man, the French police, they got in there and shut that thing down real quick when it went, the minute and it got lit on fire.
I think Donald and his people would already know, but I think Donald also found it a harsh fact that just because he's president of the United States doesn't give him absolute authority on everything.
Well, I think that's the Constitution. That's the glory of the Constitution. It doesn't matter how what any president thinks in their mind. There's limits to their abilities. He's learning that, as all presidents do. I mean, Nixon would like to have made things go away. He couldn't.
Yeah.
He was saying in one of his recent speeches that he said, quote, "Come November 20th, all this violence and craziness is going to come to an end." And I don't know exactly where he was coming from or what he was alluding to.
Isn't that the day the comet's supposed to hit?
November 20th?
Yeah.
That's when the next term would begin, I guess.
No, because the election's on the 3rd, and then after that. Oh, I think the 20th is when the electors have to officially have their stuff in.
There's just some significance to that.
The 20th of January, I'm sorry. 20th of
January.
that's January. That's inauguration.
Yeah.
That's when...
that's when
the roles turned over.
The change will be complete. So
he's a horrible troll, though. He'll tell you he's going to run for 5 more terms, and he's going or that he's going to get one. He gets to have one extra one because he was indicted.
I think this is just
he's
more.
Just a troll.
He's in perfect. It's a perfect situation for him right now because all the attention's as usual focused on whatever he says, and he's just going to say whatever he wants to say to get the reaction he wants to get. And right now, the reaction he seems to want to get is disorder and chaos in the cities. He just wants to. He knows that
already. Set up. You already set it up for the election outcome.
He
loses, something's wrong.
They're just playing into his hands by doing this. And
well, he can try and play that game. He loses, but then again, it's the states that certify the election, and the states, all the states who say, "Hey, look, it was fine," as they did last. They certified the last election. That apparently had Russian interference, but every single state said, no, we looked through it. Everything was counted right. We didn't see any fraud anywhere.
The Democrat playbook really should just be...
But that's just trolling. He knows damn well he can't do that.
They should just stop this disorder in the cities and just get down to campaigning and good grassroots work to get people out to vote. And that's it. I mean, just stop it.
I hear you, but it's the Democrats aren't... I don't think they're directly responsible for the violence in the cities any more than the the Republicans are responsible for white supremacists and KKK members that say they want to be part.
Them, I think, is psychologically, and it's really not.
The permissiveness they gave by basically saying nothing. Well, and by some of their members, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, who are part of the left wing of the party.
So,
well, other than the other hand, I don't think they'd succeed, though, so why try to do something you're going to fail at and further divide the party, alienate the party? It's a fine line that Democrats are walking on in order to court this left wing.
How many
of
of
the
the protesters do you think and the people fomenting the violence are going to be voting?
None of them, because they're
What
probably not
percentage?
registered or they're not legal to vote. Or
they're felons. I mean,
that's the most. Yeah, that's just it. They represent at best 10% of the voting part of the party, and yet they're getting all the jive and energy and direction and turning off the other 90% of Democrats who are fine Americans who value private property, who support their local
right.
police,
but don't want to say anything because you're going to make enemies.
Well, or just out of pure politeness because these are good, genteel people. Yeah, the good Americans. They're not looking for a fight unless you make it a fight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about, Brian. You're a good Democrat.
No, he isn't. He's a Republican.
Technically, I'm a...
Should I not have said that? I don't know if I should have said
I
that.
lean a Republican, but
I'm a registered Democrat.
not today.
So you're finding out all sorts of things.
No, I mean that's not even remotely Democratic, but I just can't see us hanging with Trump. It's for me, it's all about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
If it was anybody else running from that party, I'd probably pretty much be on their side.
Yeah, let's say it was President Obama. Let's say he hadn't been president yet, and he was running against Trump. There wouldn't be any question. I would wholeheartedly support President, Barack Obama.
Did you vote for Obama or Romney?
Boy, you're really getting personal with the questions.
I voted for Romney.
See, he's a Republican, really.
I really thought that
maybe he's a Mormon.
Hillary would emerge as the candidate back in that
Romney
when Obama first started. He kind of came out of nowhere.
I never liked Romney.
But he was well groomed, and I don't think he did a bad job. I mean, to be fair to
Romney,
a lot of people know Obama. A lot of people are always really super critical of him.
I know. I didn't think he did bad. I mean, he's a man for one thing, so not everything was perfect.
No.
But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent presidency. 2 terms.
Yeah.
Good things were done. The stuff was kept stable. Did the economy tear off? No, but
it wasn't the biggest disaster.
Did we have a massive
There was
recession?
things.
No. we just slowly recovered. We had some issues there. I mean, there were cities were burning back. There was racial strife. There was protesting back when he was there. I mean, Ferguson, Missouri, that was on fire.
George the first time around, but he was just goofy.
Well,
to be honest with you, after a while, I didn't even vote in that second one.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't vote against him against Kerry? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to go through your voting record, Brian. I think that's your personal information.
Oh, it's fun.
The interesting note was when they talk about
we're on 1103
man and all this stuff. I did throw my vote to Mr. Ross Perot back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I'm all ears.
Literally.
I'm all ears. Yes, Ross Perot. That was the guy that caused Bush #1 to lose. It was a big factor in that.
I'm part of that theory. I subscribe to that theory. There are those that will tell you otherwise and show you numbers and everything and charts and stuff, but it's like, no, you can't tell me that Ross Perot didn't split the Republican vote.
He hurt Bush a lot.
He got a good solid, 6 to 8% of the vote, which was unheard of for a third party.
It was the best third party.
You have to look at certain states, and I'm sure there were some states in there that would have probably gone to Bush if he hadn't been around. But he really hurt Bush with not just the votes that he siphoned away, but just the way that the campaign criticized him and tore him down. It helped Clinton more.
Yeah, it was a right-wing attack against a right wing. So it was just a strife within the party.
Well,
I started out as a Democrat. First election, 76, I voted for Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever ran against Reagan, I voted for. I can't even remember who that was.
Well, that shows how old you are. You actually voted in 76. I was 11. How old was I? 11 years. Oh.
It was Gerald Ford versus...
that was Ford versus Carter. Yeah.
Carter versus Reagan.
Right. I didn't vote in that one. I was too young. And then the first one...
Yeah, I
Reagan
voted
versus
for Carter again, I believe, in 80. So, Reagan, they just kind of scared me.
Mondale, 84.
84.
Yes, I voted for Mondale. I did.
Oh, man.
I was coming from a very, upbringing.
You're very first vote chance to vote, and you wasted.
That was another one. I
liked Mondale.
I skipped on.
Oh God.
Fritz.
Walter Mondale is about as memorable as the flavor of wallpaper paste.
He got a nice little Midwestern accent.
He did, though.
Nice man.
He was a nice man. Yeah. Jimmy Carter, excellent, nice man. I mean, look, Habitat for Humanity. I mean, he went on to show you just what a nice man he was.
I didn't vote for Reagan at all. I just, for some reason, I wasn't ready for that. And then I went to Yale, and all hell broke loose, and I reacted the other way. So I started on voting Republican after that.
It's funny. Yale's such a democratic left-wing institution, isn't it?
And then I voted for Clinton.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's because Clinton was, you could just tell this guy's getting lots of action.
No, I meant Hillary.
Sweet action. Oh, Hillary. Oh, yeah. Because
I was kind of like you, Brian. In 2016, Trump really just turned me off. I was just kind of disgusted.
Well, that's the funny thing is I voted for Trump 2016.
See, we're finding all this stuff out.
I was caught up in the Peru concept, It's this
the outsider,
businessman, non-politician in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was kind of a jerk, but I think he's gotten progressively worse.
Well, we're going to have to cut the show off here at this point. We've run way over, so I mean, unless you want to keep going, but I've got to excuse myself. Yes. But
head back to.
It's up to you, Brian. But if we could end the show right here with
I've got to roll too. So
yeah, we're gonna end with a Kiss song. Another
Kiss song.
Have you ever heard this one called New York Groove?
Yeah.
It's actually good too.
Yeah, okay. New York needs this.
We're done for today.
So I think the Celtics are up, and I'll take heart in that. But we'll talk to you next week. All right. Have a good week.
All right.
And this will close off Chab Dog Sports Talk for the month of August. And everybody we'll be back on Sunday right before Labor Day.
Yeah, we'll see you next Sunday.
Have a safe week.
See you in September, everybody.
Have a safe week.
Wake me up in September.
Yes. Okay. All right.
All right.
Sitting by my side, saying,